I did not do a recap last week. I did not watch the football game last week. I'm going to get into that later on in the podcast in the next segment. So if anyone wants to talk to me about what happened in the Broncos game, I really don't know besides the fact that Darius Slay returned a fumble for a touchdown, and there was a whole controversy with Teddy Bridgewater over whether or not he tried to make a tackle on Darius Slay. I don't really care about that much. People will say that he Cam Newtoned himself or he made a business decision. I don't really care. I do want to recap the game because I did watch this game between the Eagles and the Saints. This was the first game where the Eagles wore all black, and they went up against Trevor Siemian. Let me just say right now that if the Eagles went up against a competent quarterback, they probably would have lost the game. And I can say that as an objective fan. The Eagles have gone up against a lot of teams that don't have competent quarterbacks, and they've beaten them. That's a good sign, okay? So at least you're beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. The Saints also didn't have Alvin Kamara, so they didn't have their biggest playmaker on the field. So with that out of the way, understand that this was the best 3 quarters of football that Sirianni has coached since he's come to the Eagles. Outside of that first game of the season against the Falcons where he's just kind of trying to get his feet wet, this was the best 3 quarters that he's coached. And you can say that the reason is because the reason why was because it seems like the coaching staff is really understanding how to use Jalen Hurts in this offense. Jalen Hurts is not a passer yet. It's clear. It's clear that he either does not have the confidence to be a passer, or the coaching staff just knows that he hasn't perfected his talents yet. And we can see that by the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles probably have the most rushing attempts of any team in the NFL. Whether it's a designed quarterback rush or whether it is an improvised rush, the Eagles have the most rushing attempts by their players. And that is how I always wanted the Eagles to run their team, their offense, with the knowledge that Jalen Hurts is not going to beat you with his arm. There are passes that Jalen Hurts makes with his arm, but these are designed passes. These are designed to get certain players open. I've been saying that Jalen Hurts is a limited player, limited with his arm. And you can clearly see it here. Okay? The guy's barely passing for 100 yards. That's it. And that's not a knock against him. I understand that there's time to develop. But Jalen Hurts is essentially a running back at the quarterback position. It's not a bad thing, and the one thing that I can say about Jalen Hurts that he's really improved on is he's cutting down on the mistakes. It is clear that if he's not sure about a pass, he's probably not going to make it. I think he's only had 1 turnover over the past 5 or 6 weeks, and that is a good thing moving forward. Okay? But other than that, I understand that a lot of people are enamored with Jalen Hurts because he's winning, and I want him to win too. I want a quarterback who's going to win as well. But I also want a quarterback who is proficient at passing. And I guess you could say Jalen Hurts has probably played almost a season of play through 11 weeks plus 4, give or take. His better passing days were definitely in his rookie season. He's not passing as much here. And again, the Eagles are winning because he's not passing, but you want a quarterback who is going to scare defenses. And Jalen Hurts just doesn't scare defenses with a deep threat. Even if guys are open, he's not sending the ball deep as much. Understanding that, I am really glad that the Eagles are now incorporating the running game. This is something that Eagles fans are really pushing for. I think it was said by Mark Schlereth in the booth, Eagles fans like running the football. Okay, we have a long history of really good running backs, and we always get upset when our coaches don't run the football. And you could clearly see that from the Eagles' three-headed monster. I mean, what can I say? Miles Sanders is that sort of juking, dashing sort of guy. Jordan Howard is that rock. And Boston Scott just runs with wind. Now, I know a lot of people are going to get on Miles Sanders for that fumble. Yeah, he needs better ball protection. And that has been a big thing in his career, ball protection. Control the football. Jordan Howard is just a bus. The dude's a bus. Like, the dude gets 5 yards a pop almost every time with a full head of steam. The dude is a Mack truck. But the fourth quarter was not so good. The fourth quarter might have been one of the worst quarters in the whole season. The Eagles essentially went away from everything that they were doing well, and they really did depend on Jalen Hurts to win them the game. And, you know, he made one spectacular play, which is a pass to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who is the forgotten man on this team, the quote-unquote bust, the quote-unquote we should have drafted DK Metcalf. But he made that play, and it led to a Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown. So that really did save the game for the Eagles, but the Eagles' defense they fell apart. They just absolutely fell apart. They weren't getting any pressure. I think it was like the first touchdown that the Saints scored, the Eagles rushed 4, and it was 3rd and 18. You shouldn't be rushing 4. You should be blitzing. You should be going after the quarterback. You should send 7 guys. Because I don't care what happens. I know that it's tough to cover a bunch of guys when you're blitzing 7, but at the end of the day, you are going to get home faster than Trevor Siemian is going to be able to process anything. And Trevor Siemian absolutely demolished the Eagles in the fourth quarter. He made it a close game. It was a 14-point game at one point. It went from 27... It went from like 30 to 7 to like 33 to 22. And that should not be happening. I don't care who you are. That's just, it's ridiculous. Shouldn't be happening. Or maybe it was like 19 to 33 to 19. That shouldn't be happening. And it all speaks to sending pressure. When you have the chance to send pressure, you should do it. You should not let a guy like Trevor Siemian absolutely demolish you. And that's what happened. We didn't bring pressure. Just that last play really saved us. I was like, we're gonna let them come back and they're gonna win, but they didn't. So it was a great thing that the defense was able to step up on a few possessions, and the offense was able to score in the end. But it is clear to me that they either don't trust Jalen Hurts at the 1 yard line to be a passer, or he just knows he's not a passer, which I think it's the coaching staff personally, because I think that Jalen Hurts definitely has confidence in his abilities as far as he's showing, but he definitely needs more improvement. He has limitations. He needs to show that he can be better.